Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. I hope you're having a good week. Here we are in the middle of it. It's a short week because of the holiday, and that's not a bad thing. But I hope you are having a great week. And I have a passage I'd like to share with you. I don't normally use this much or read this much, but I want to read to you Psalm 3. Now, I do want to say before I start reading, this psalm can really speak to your heart in ways that nothing else can. You might want to write some of the verses down and stick them someplace you can see them, or just make up your mind to look at it every so often. So let me read Psalm 3, and then we'll talk about it some. Begins with saying, "O Lord, I have so many enemies. So many are against me. So many are saying, God will never rescue him. But you, O Lord, are a shield around me. You are my glory, the one who holds my head high. I cried out to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy mountain. I lay down and slept, yet I woke up in safety. For the Lord was watching over me. I'm not afraid of 10,000 enemies who surround me on every side. Arise, O Lord, and rescue me, my God. Slap all my enemies in the face. Shatter the teeth of the wicked. Victory comes from you, O Lord. May you bless your people." Well, David writes this psalm in the midst of his struggles. And it's as though he's writing in the midst of ours. He starts out by saying, Lord, I have many enemies who want to destroy me. So many of them are saying, God will never help you. Well, we don't think of enemies necessarily the same way. An enemy in a time of war would be the other side. But most of us don't spend our lives in times of war. We spend our lives in times of everyday living. And for some, depression can be an enemy that's trying to destroy them. For others, like one of my sons, it's bipolar personality that seeks to destroy him. And the time may yet come when that happens. But in the meantime, you see, David is saying, I got plenty of things that can go wrong, that are going wrong. If you've got plenty in your life, or what seems like plenty, you're not alone. You're not the first one to experience this. You're not the first one to feel this. You won't be the last one. And David says there are many out there. And they're also saying, God will never rescue you. There is no hope. You hear that? Forget it. You might as well give up. It's not going to change. But yet, David goes on to say that that's not true. He said, but you, Lord, are a shield around me. You are my glory, the one who holds my head high. I cry out to you, and you hear me. See, while these other voices are saying, there's no chance, there's no hope, God is saying, yes, there is. I haven't forgotten you. I'm not going to forget you. I'll be there. And sometimes it's hard to see God. Well, I guess lots of times it's hard to see God. David says here, I called out to you, and he answered me from his holy mountain. You know, we all still see as God is somewhere out there, somewhere else. But yet, Jesus tells us that God is right here. He's sitting right over in that chair over there. He's standing beside me as I try to figure out what to say on his behalf. You see, God never leaves you. You may leave God, but he never leaves you. And then he says, I lay down and slept, yet I woke up in safety, for the Lord was watching over me. Recently, this verse gave me a lot of things to think about. Recently, I had a bout with my breathing abilities. And I can tell you that they're a whole lot better now. I'm still working on it. But I found myself one night saying to myself, you know, John, I can't regulate my breathing. Only God can. So I'm going to have to relax and trust him. There's so many things in our lives we cannot do. We don't have the ability, the authority, the whatever we need to change them. But God does. And he says, here, I cried out to you, and I woke up, and I'm not afraid. I don't know about you, but I've met a lot of people who were very afraid. Certainly this last year and a half with the virus as it has been, a lot of people are afraid. It's getting better. I hope you've been vaccinated. If you haven't been, I hope you will soon. Boy, it's such a freedom knowing that that stuff can't get me. And even though I protect myself with a mask, wash my hands, keep distance, don't go anywhere, I can still get it. God protects us. Whatever happens, whatever comes down the road. David says, I can sleep in safety. And then he finishes up by saying, victory comes from you, O Lord. May you bless your people. David understands where the strength comes from, where the power comes from. He understands where the victory comes from. And it's not because of his own abilities, as great as they are. It's because God works with him. So today, I'd like for you to think about that. I don't know where your enemies are, and I don't know how many it says here, there are around you. For many of us, life goes on fairly smoothly. But for others, life is just a total struggle. Over and over and over. And I just want to share with you this passage, this psalm, that tells us beyond any question that God will come when we need him, when we ask him, that he loves us and he wants the best for you and for me. I hope you already know that. If you don't, well, you can. Just read the psalm and think about it. God bless you. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate you sharing your time, because I know you don't have to do that. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, and great day. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.